Madara used Susanoo with no eyes, bro. No eyes. Susanoo activated. I mean, I understand that he's overpowered as fuck, but still. You gotta keep those rules in mind. Although technically, I guess this is just preparation for another Susanoo-related ass pull that will happen later down the road. The thing about this, though, is that in the beginning of this episode, there's this scene that made me laugh, where the tailed beasts are just straight up tossing his ass around. You know, they coordinate themselves to act as a pinball machine. Madara's getting his ass thrown around. Why didn't he activate Susanoo there to protect his body? He could have activated it there before Gaara's pyramid. Granted, the version of the Susanoo that he uses to escape the pyramid isn't really that big of a deal in the first place. It's kind of like the, you know, the rip-off Susanoo, the cheap-ass Susanoo. I don't know who directed this episode, but it made me feel like they had a fetish for the Susanoo's feet, because they focused a lot on Susanoo's toes. A lot of this episode is just basically the tailed beasts' faces. You know, either being pissed or just looking at Madara in shock. And they were working pretty well together as a team. It's just Madara was all about that business. He's like, fuck this, summon Geto Maso. Obito, for whatever reason, is just too important to be killed off, along with Black Zetsu, as a way of preventing Madara from getting the second Rinnegan. Black Zetsu says, I can't detach from you, Obito, because the moment I do that, these two guys are gonna kill me. But don't you eventually have to detach from Obito to give Madara the Rinnegan? I don't know. Bottom line is, Madara was holding it down. Meanwhile, Naruto. This is my impression of Naruto throughout this entire episode. Madara! Kurama! Gaara! Kurama! Obito! Wait for it, wait for it. Madara! The music was great in this episode. Dun 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 da 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 da. Yeah, the music sounds nothing like that. Imagine that, but actually good. The tailed beasts get together, they tail whip Madara, he loses an arm. You think that matters? Fuck no. He gets a new one from White Zetsu and then he starts licking his wounds, like. Because Gaara used like these sand bullets that hit Madara and left like little sand particles inside of him. Madara, he got in there. He got in there real good. He even ate the crust. And he just starts laughing like a total maniac. You know, he's laughing like a guy who just found out that he can masturbate. Like, that's a thing that he can do. And then after that, shit gets kind of racist because, you know, White Zetsu was able to steal the Rinnegan quick. Black Zetsu's having trouble. So there you go. The Naruto lesson of the day is that white people are better at stealing shit. Which is historically true because, you know, they stole a shit ton of land from the Native Americans. Madara summons up these chains to pull in the Bijou into the Geto Maso, and Naruto is very disappointed because, and I quote, he says, Kurama can't go back inside me. Then we get a flashback from Shukaku, or the Tanuki, goddess beast, and it's interesting because like that's my favorite part of the episode because it's just so heartwarming and it shows that even though we don't really know like the backstory of all of the tailed beasts, it's important to remember that they also had other Jinchurikis aside from the ones that they have right now. He was pretty much imprisoned. All he got for lunch was like a loaf of bread and some milk or water or whatever. And yet, it seemed from what we got in this episode that he was never bitter or angry at the Bijou himself. He's actually framed as a martyr in that sense, you know, to the point where like the only compliment that the Shukaku ever gave him was that he kind of reminded him of the Sage of the Six Paths. Having read the manga, I'm not really sure if that's a compliment, but I understand it. For the context of the scene, I understand the value of that compliment. And the tattoos that he has on his hands, which I think stand for heart and acceptance, if you combine them, it gives you Gaara's tattoo, which means love. When I saw that old man crying, I'm like, fuck, no. Shit. And then the music kicks in, it's like, fuck, man. Shit. I don't even know this character, and I'm feeling bad. I thought the episode was good, as well as the animation. Shit is going to get kind of crazy next week. I remember when that happened in the manga. I don't think anybody was expecting that to happen. It's kind of a curveball there. Hope you enjoy it. I'll catch you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. I appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel. Comment. Tell me your thoughts about this episode. Thanks, guys. Bye.